Whether you're joining a Product Marketing Alliance event for the first time, or if you're a seasoned regular, welcome to Masters of Product Marketing 2022. We have an awesome lineup of leadership-focused content for you to enjoy over the next 2 days. But before we dive in, I just want to say a few thank yous. Thank you to our sponsor partners, insightful speakers, and of course you, our lovely audience. From wherever in the world you are watching, we hope you enjoy the sessions. To get the most out of these talks, please ensure you are sharing your feedback and asking your questions in the comments section, as our speakers will be answering them throughout the day. After the event, a great place to continue the conversation is in the PMA Slack community. If you aren't already a member, hop on over and join the discussions. And if that's still not enough, then why not become a PMA member and benefit from unlimited access to exclusive templates, frameworks, meetups, mentors, and our entire library of videos and slide decks from all our events. So with all that to come, let's dive right into the next session.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to How to Drive More Impactful Go-to-Market Strategies with Market and Customer Insights. My name is Morgan, and here's a little bit about me before we jump in. I live in Redwood City, California, with my husband, Alex, and golden retriever, Penny. She's a pandemic dog. I'm a researcher turned marketer, beginning my career at Nielsen. I was in their marketing analytics division, consulting for some major CPG companies. But then I joined SurveyMonkey, now Momentive, about 7 years ago. And I've been in product marketing for about 5 of those years. And I built the function for our insights business. So now leading product marketing and industry marketing. So a little bit of a humble brag. I was named one of PMA's top 100 product marketing influencers and Sharebird's top 100 product marketing mentors last year. And I taught the product launch course for CXL's product marketing mini degree. One thing I do love about my role is building frameworks and enabling other product marketers to be successful. And then just for fun, my guilty pleasures are reality dating shows and sour candy, which I am pregnant right now. And so that has been one of my big cravings, has been sour candy. All right. So some of you may or may not be familiar with Momentive, but you probably know us as the maker of SurveyMonkey. Last year, we did rebrand our company to create a fresh page to tell our story. As a company, we've evolved way beyond simple surveys. We are a leader in agile insights and experience management with AI-powered solutions built for the speed of modern business. And we have 5 different categories of solutions, helping you deeply understand your market, elevate your brand performance, deliver memorable customer experiences, innovate and build new products, and cultivate happy, engaged employees. And our solutions benefit from our immense scale and rich 22 plus year history as being a company building research technology and developing that expertise over time. And then we get to work with some of the coolest companies, helping organizations elevate experiences that they offer is really why Momentive exists as a company. We've got purpose-built solutions for empowering brands at every stage of their customers' journey. And we are helping companies of all industries and all sizes, from high growth startups to currently serving 95% of the Fortune 500. And so today you'll even hear some examples from the companies we're working with, in addition to how we at Momentive have put our own solutions into practice. Which brings me to today's discussion. So we'll talk about what makes a strong go-to-market strategy. Then I'll dive into 5 practical ways to use market and customer insights to inform your strategy and execution. And then while this is all intuitive to me, someone who lives and breathes research, of course, it might not be for all of you. So I'll make sure that you have some tangible steps for getting started today. I'll actually start with some data from PMA's latest State of Product Marketing report. So we product marketers have a tough job. We need to combine market and customer knowledge to influence the product roadmap, create go-to-market strategies, enable our marketing, sales, and customer success partners to be successful. just looking at this list of responsibilities, it's overwhelming. So the majority of us own positioning and messaging, managing launches, sales collateral, market research, and then you see some things that some of us also own, like roadmap planning and customer onboarding. One thing for certain, though, most product marketers are in charge of leading the go-to-market process and product launches. But these launches aren't always successful in terms of meeting customer adoption and financial targets. The same PMA report shows that launches are deemed successful by PMMs less than half the time. So if you combine those first two triangles there. There are many reasons, though, that this could be the case. If we're real with ourselves, a lot of the success or lack thereof of launches can be attributed to the go-to-market strategy. So what makes a good or strong go-to-market strategy? A lot of things that you need to get right. Here's a short list that makes that strategy extra strong. So I've kind of distilled it into three main categories here. So first, there's the launch process alignment. So this is all about setting clear launch goals and accountability, making sure everyone knows the launch timeline and their specific roles or responsibilities. We use a DACY model, or some folks use RACY, but some sort of way of outlining clear responsibilities, success measurement and tracking. And then next, making sure that you have a focused strategy. So this kind of, all these things kind of ladder up to that. So market and competitive intelligence, your ideal customer profile and target personas, product messaging and differentiation, pricing and packaging, and then finally pulling off a successful launch with an effective execution plan. So this includes product readiness, both in terms of product releases, but also ensuring product market fit, acquisition strategy, sales and success enablement, effective content and collateral, and then customer advocacy. And so today, we're actually going to focus in some of these areas I've just highlighted here, how market and customer insights can influence these areas of your strategy. So how you might refine your target buyer personas, test or validate your messaging, measuring sales confidence, establishing credibility through really great content, and then building a bench of customer advocates. So let's start with refining your target buyer personas. Here at Momentive, for each of our top buyer personas, we create what we call persona packs. They're a precursor to full-blown persona messaging frameworks that we also use as an internal overview and trainings and cheat sheets and just ways that other partners can leverage messaging for whatever asset they need to write for. They span information about the buyer's responsibilities, challenges, how we solve for those challenges, what may trigger a purchase event, and then what that evaluation criteria might be once they're selecting vendors. And then we have a section on the ideal customer profile to arm marketing and sales with who to target, which solutions or use cases to lead with, and of course, customer stories. Now, it can be difficult and, of course, time-consuming to get in front of enough customers to do the necessary research to refine your personas. The PMA report also showed that almost 1 in 5 product marketers never directly talk to customers, which is a bit mind-boggling to me, but I guess I understand it. If you have UX research or customer marketing or other teams that really are the face of those interactions. So ultimately, you probably do, though, want a wide variety of data sources and research to inform your personas. So I split this into two groups: qualitative research and quantitative research. So qualitative research might include interviews with customers. It could be closed lost prospects. It could be people in your network that fit that persona profile. But either way, those qualitative interviews give you really rich information. Existing UX pricing or other types of interviews. So you might be scouring recordings that already exist or notes that have already exist on interviews that have taken place. Sales calls, webinars, or event presentations. Maybe those are out in the industry or even by your competitors. Industry articles, job descriptions, all of these things could kind of come together to give you some great qualitative insight on your buyer personas. And then on the quantitative side, that research could include maybe some state of whatever department you're serving, state of marketing, state of IT, whatever, those kinds of reports that those exist pretty much in for every department. Industry reports. So for us, we look at some global market research reports put out by SOMAR, which is a big association that looks at that industry. Market research surveys, sales funnel data, product usage data. So there's a lot here that could be a little bit more behavioral or transactional to complement your qualitative stuff. And so while qual can give you really great in-depth, contextual, rich information, it can be hard or time consuming to gather at scale. And then the flip side of that is, quant might be a little bit faster, but it won't provide that why behind the data. Surveys can tend to be a bit of a happy medium there, though. So this is why we and our customers conduct usage and attitude studies. So UNAs are really frequently done at B2C companies. Talk to anyone in insights or marketing at a CPG company, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're doing our UNAs all the time. I used to work with Procter & Gamble. They're refreshing their knowledge of their target customers on a very frequent basis. And I'm now seeing actually more B2B companies are doing this type of research on their target buyers. And so with UNA studies, kind of how it works is you survey your target buyers at scale. For us, you can use that integrated panel that comes with the SurveyMonkey platform or our solutions, target exactly who you need. And then what you can do is profile your buyer segments by demographic or psychographic or firmographic, any other behavioral characteristics that would be interesting for you as a business. Then you can quantify and prioritize all of those top challenges, uncover insights about the purchasing process. So who's involved, who owns budget, where do they seek out information, anything that can help you in terms of messaging or targeting for your marketing and sales. And then the other thing that our solution actually provides is a key drivers analysis, which shows you which attributes and behaviors lead to outcomes that you might be really interested in, like purchase intent or desire to learn more, things like that. So really powerful for really getting to know and profile your target audience. And so a good example of this, so the research done at Kajabi, which if you don't know about them, they're a platform for creators and entrepreneurs that they use to manage their online business. It's a really good example of how you might use a UNA study. So at Kajabi, the product had advanced in ways that opened up opportunities to serve even more types of customers. So the product marketing team was challenged with defining the scope of who they should be targeting beyond just creators and entrepreneurs running all these types of one-person businesses. This would inform the entire funnel. So from brand campaigns through the sales funnel, they ran a UNA as a first project. This is really towards making some of those decisions, building a foundation of ongoing research. It gave way to how they structured additional research, like their brand health tracker and who they targeted for additional research for things like name testing and message testing. And so Caitlin Roberts, who's the product marketer on the team, driving a lot of this effort, summed it up as allowing the team at Kajabi to quantify customer problems, understand their context, and bring customers to the table when it comes to decision making, which is huge when developing and refining buyer personas. So great example, you start with a UNA, you really understand your buyer, that leads to the ability to refine your targeting and targeting for other research. So another great example. Moving on to number 2 here. So testing and validating your messaging. So I'm going to proclaim that knowing whether our messages are resonating with prospects is probably one of the biggest challenges we as product marketers face. There is certainly ways to try and tease these out. One way is through implicit data. So maybe where we're making inferences from data sets. So this could be, examples could be click-through rates or conversion rates or win rates or A/B tests, things that you might be doing in market to understand, okay, is message A resonating more or message B resonating more? And then there's explicit data. So that's more like where people are telling us directly what they think. And so interviews with customers and prospects could work here, feedback from sales reps, sales calls, but also message testing is an option. The challenge here with implicit data is you can really never be 100% certain unless it's a very well-structured copy-only experiment. I have an example for that in just a bit, that you're truly capturing the impact of that messaging. And it also lacks some of the human context. So explicit data can be time-consuming to collect and challenging to synthesize. But we've started using survey-based message testing in our process, and it's actually sped up our time to market pretty considerably. So I'll talk about Momentive's message testing solution. It's another one of the purpose-built solutions that we offer. It's probably the one that I use the most frequently as a product marketer. So with it, you can survey your target buyers. And for us, it's typically some sort of B2B targeting, maybe some broad group of business decision makers. And then we compare how messages score across a variety of default and custom attributes. And you want to make sure that these align with the associations you're trying to achieve as a brand. So this should be tied to what you're trying to drive in terms of brand messaging, associations, et cetera. And then you can quickly understand the differences across different buyer segments with AI-powered insights that we offer. And then you can compare those results to over 95 industry benchmarks. We have SaaS included in those benchmarks. So a great way, again, to just very quickly at a glance, see how different messages score across a variety of attributes. And so here's an example. It's an actual, I don't know how kosher this is, but an actual study that I ran about a month ago. I ran a headline test for our Momentive homepage. So you see the homepage design here on the left. We're admittedly still using the same homepage that we launched for our rebrand last June. So it's been well over a year without any changes. This was fine, of course, when we launched our new brand, but the current design is really more about showcasing brand values, explaining our logo mark, than it is communicating what we do or how our solutions tangibly offer value. So we chose 6 headlines to test here that you see on the right. They correspond to either a value prop or a category message or a platform message. Interestingly, leadership was pushing for something that conveyed more of that category that we play in. But on the next slide, I'll actually share the results with you. Okay, I'm going to break this down. The results come back in a very clean, easy to digest scorecard. You've got the actual messages across the top and then the metrics along the side. So you can see we tested things like overall appeal, clarity, brand impression, innovative, likelihood to learn more, which is really what you want someone to do on your homepage. And then I'm curious if anyone has any guesses on the winning headline. Well, so we have 2 messages that won by a landslide. Both were simpler language relating back to one of our key value props, so either ease or speed. And so the first, making it easier to know how your customers think and feel, and real insights from real people really fast. What we did once we had these 2 winning messages was actually design and develop homepage heroes. Very similar imagery, so actually the exact imagery. So it was really just a headline copy test. Got those into rotation, did a split test with our against our existing heroes. So it was technically an ABC test. And it's still actually, it's live right now. It's still early days for final results, but so far the making it easier message is in the lead. Curious if you agree with the results. You can let me know in the chat. All right, so moving on to number 3, improving sales and success confidence. All right, so given PMMs are involved in so many strategic initiatives, it only makes sense that we are tied to so many metrics. Here's more data, again, from that same PMA State of Product Marketing report. And not a single metric was reported by more than half of PMM teams. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. And when I look at these, so many are really just metrics that we influence, but don't really own outright, meaning we don't have full control over the success of any given metric, except for maybe sales confidence, asset utilization, things like that. So let's talk about sales confidence. Only about a third of PMM teams are measured against this, but I actually think this is one of the most important metrics to keep track of and to measure. It truly correlates to the impact of the product marketing team's work. And so we created a survey at Momentive. We partnered with our enablement team. They now own making sure that reps are taking the survey every quarter. But we are heavily involved in the results and what we do with them. So here's the typical survey flow that we use internally. We send it once a quarter to all of our SDRs, BDRs, AEs, and CSMs. And it's been invaluable in helping us plan our enablement roadmap. So it includes kind of a flow along these three areas. So demographics, like role or tenure, so we can filter on the data during analysis. We then have confidence metrics across all stages of the sales cycle, from discovery to pricing and even upsell. My team especially cares about things like confidence in pitching our different solutions and competitive differentiation. And then we always give space for open-ended feedback. So some great ideas have really come from the write-ins of the survey. And then as a follow-up gift, we will be sending you our sales confidence survey template. So you can actually implement this at your organization if you'd like to. If you don't receive it, feel free to ping me directly and I can make sure you get it. Maybe I'll also try and drop it in the chat if I can do that. So here's an example question. And this is really more about confidence when speaking about our solutions. It's a 5-point scale from not at all confident to very confident. And what we do in analysis is combine what we call a top 2-box score. So it's taking the somewhat confident plus very confident, adding those numbers together. You arrive at a single number, which can just be that KPI that you track over time. And this is kind of how it would look in our SurveyMonkey Enterprise platform. And so you can kind of see how that differs by the different solutions that we have. And once you start looking at these trends over time, that is really where the magic happens. So here's the trend we've been seeing for confidence in competitive intelligence. This PMM and strategy actually kind of around this time had teamed up to create a deep dive competitive intel training, which included overall market landscape and trends, solution by solution. How do we stack up? Where do we win? And it had an overwhelming impact on this metric. So you can clearly see, based on when we had the training and kind of the before, after, and confidence, just kind of skyrocketed, really. Here's a similar trend for sales strategy and tactics, hovering in the middle ground, but not really strong, not really improving. So we initiated a cross-functional effort to create a very comprehensive sales playbook that spanned all the sales stages of the sales cycle. I had all our templates and our tools and best practices, product messaging, everything in one place. It actually ended up being over 100 pages long, like good or bad, take it or leave it. But we've then incorporated it into onboarding, and chapter by chapter, we've been coaching on it with our managers. So it's been a really great asset for our team. But look at the impact it had on sales confidence. And I think our Q3 numbers, we should be getting back pretty soon, but like I expect this to continue to be growing. Strong impact. We're seeing overall higher confidence, especially even with some of our shorter tenured reps, which is really exciting because some of these things we've since implemented have helped our speed to ramp and full quota and everything like that too. So it's been great. All right, let's go to number 4, establishing authority and credibility. Okay, so you might be wondering how insights ties in here. Well, it's all about creating credible content to support your go-to-market strategy. Turns out people want it. A whopping 82% of people would rather read an article based on data than the writer's opinion alone. Top brands are really already doing this today. They're publishing original research reports. They're building credibility and authority. Here you see a smattering of research from the PMA, of course, Salesforce, HubSpot, Twilio, Zendesk, Slack, Snowflake, Amplitude, Zora, LinkedIn, Drift. And this is truly a key part of a lot of these brand strategies. So a great example of one of our customers that is doing this is Brex. They're a fintech company for high growth. They support high growth companies and startups with financing, credit cards, things like that. They were gearing up for a product launch that they were unveiling at a trade show and wanted to pack a little bit more of a punch. And so they decided to do a market research survey using SurveyMonkey audience and targeting finance professionals responsible for closing the books each month to get some foundational stats that corroborated the challenges that their new product solved for. They received insights in just about 2 days, created a whole campaign around the data, included collateral they physically put in the seats at the presentation at their conference. And so it's really a great example of how research can become integrated into a campaign to drive more credibility around a launch. All right, and that brings us to our final number 5, building a bench of customer advocates and proof points. All right, so let's hear directly from the voice of one of our customers. Time for a little story. Let me know if this sounds familiar. Okay, we have a sales team of about 150 people globally. We were getting bombarded with requests for more customer stories and references. So we built a really robust customer marketing program to generate customer content for sales and for our website. But meeting with existing clients, crafting their story, publishing it in the right formats was a huge time suck. And as a result, we had a couple of really good stories and case studies, but they didn't fully represent the growing portfolio of industries and personas that we serve. Ultimately, marketing was constantly lagging behind and needed to catch up. Whew, I don't know about you, but this hits home for me. In 2 years, we went from 1 insight solution to 23 solutions. We hadn't come close to catching up. So with all the case studies that we really should be having right now to support our portfolio. So luckily, we have a solution called Tech Validate. It helps you gather social proof at scale. It's a survey-based solution, but what makes it unique is the way that research comes from a third party. So it really makes for a good customer experience, filling out the information, as well as validation that you get when you publish what we call tech facts. So with Tech Validate by SurveyMonkey, you can capture and transform customer feedback into testimonials, product stats, reviews, and more, even full-blown case studies. You can arm your sales and marketing teams with customer stories filtered by industry, persona, product, etc. It even integrates into Salesforce. Quickly identify, and you can also quickly identify customers for deeper case studies, speaking engagements, video, ABM, other marketing activities. Like all of that approval and release is done through the survey taking process. So everything that you collect, you're able to use however you need to. Really powerful in that way. And so Gong actually is one of our customers benefiting from the speed at which they can create compelling customer proof points for their sales and marketing teams. They collected hundreds of customer testimonials in just 2 days. I'll repeat that, 2 days, and are using our Salesforce integration to make them readily available for customer-facing teams. So in Sheena's words, she's a senior director of marketing at Gong. They're able to measure the immeasurable find the ideal quote, introduce the customer, and win new business through an auto-collected reference that all pays for itself many times over. So in my 7 years at Momentive, I've run Tech Validate projects every couple of years. And every time I'm amazed at the customers that come forward willing to share their thoughts. So it really is a powerful solution that I keep coming back to myself as a product marketer. Okay, so by now you probably understand that market and customer insights are critical for a successful go-to-market strategy, but where do you begin? Here are a couple of things you can start doing today to bring more customer and market insights into your process. Versus assessing the current state of marketing customer research at your organization. Identify 1 to 2 things that you're doing manually today that would benefit from insights at scale. So maybe it's surveys, for example. And then start with one project. Is it personas? Is it messaging? Is it case studies? To introduce market research and customer surveys. And then one thing that once that you've done, find one thing that you've done that's worked well, document that research process so you can scale it within your team and organization. We do that as well. So we take all the things that we're doing, we document it, we allow for other teams to get the same benefit. And then, of course, our team would be happy to provide a consultation to help you get started, because I know it's not as easy as I make it seem, and we've got a whole team of experts that are ready and willing to help you. So really, that's a wrap. I realize I've run out of time for questions, but I will be able to follow up after. If you do reach out, you can connect with me through the chat or connect with me through, even on LinkedIn. I just want to say thank you to the PMA for having me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your event here.